So for months, we've been talking about the PlayStation 4 Neo, a new upgraded PlayStation that's on the way. But up until now, all this information has been kind of passed through the grapevine. It's been reported by several media outlets. There's been people who's claimed to be insiders who's been posting up rumors. But all of this has been happening without Sony saying a word, at least up until now. And that all changed today when Sony's Andrew House confirmed that Sony is indeed working on a new, more powerful version of the PlayStation 4. Sony says the new PlayStation 4 is going to be more expensive than the current $350 model and will be sold alongside the existing PlayStation 4 for the duration of this life cycle, giving hardcore gamers a choice. So the original PlayStation 4 isn't going anywhere. They're going to continue to sell that alongside this new professional grade. So the new model is going to target 4K TV owners and enthusiasts who want top-of-the-line graphics because it's going to provide Ultra HD as well as deliver better graphics and better visuals. Now, House did refuse to say when the timeline for this release was, so we don't know when it's coming out. We don't have the specific specs for it, other than other reports that I've mentioned to you before where people claim that they have dev kits and they've leaked the dev documents. But of course, all that could possibly change. Now, Sony reiterated what had previously been reported, that all games are going to support the original PlayStation 4. So for people worried that their PlayStation is going to become obsolete, who jumped in, they've already bought one, and they're worried that, there's going to be exclusive games or something for this PlayStation 4 Neo. That's not the case. They said every game that'll be on the Neo will also be on the PlayStation 4. It just may look better on the Neo. So what's really interesting is that Sony made this statement today and then said, but we're not bringing it to E3. And the reason why it's not coming to E3, according to Sony, is because they don't have the content to show off, to explain to people, I guess, why you would want to upgrade. Here's what House actually said, quote, "We want to ensure we have a full range of the best experiences on the new system that we can showcase in their entirety." So, they just don't have enough there to really show you off the features of it just yet. Now, when asked if he thought this might fracture the current market and success of the current system, Sony said they think it's going to be fine and said, early tech adapters are used to rapid hardware development, in part thanks to mobile phones and PCs. So, really, when you think about it, it makes sense for Sony not to show their full hand right now. This E3 is probably going to be spent trying to sell you on a $400 VR system. So if they come out with a $400 VR system and then a $400 or $500 new PlayStation for you to buy, that might seem like a bit of an overkill for a lot of people's wallets. Now, there are a lot of different ways that you can try to evaluate this, that you can try to look at it. According to leaked dev specs, the new PlayStation 4 is getting a beefier GPU, but there wasn't much change on the CPU, which caused a lot of people, to kind of go, why not, upgrade your CPU while you're at it, Sony? So they could be waiting to see if Microsoft is going to reveal anything, trying to counter that, because, since none of this has been officially announced, they could change whatever they want to, and we do know how much power has become a focus this generation. Sony also has a really good thing going right now with sales. They continue to dominate every single month, so why mess that up? Especially if the console isn't set to release for several more months. So if you're selling, plenty of PlayStation 4s, why do you want to put it out there and spill the beans that now you're going to come out with a more powerful PlayStation 4, and that might actually decrease your current sales, because some people who might be ready to buy one now after seeing your games at E3, they may say, well, you know what, I'm just going to wait and hold off to hear about this newer, beefier version. So it's probably best to just shut up and keep selling PlayStation 4s for now, especially, like I said, since this isn't expected to come out for several more months. It'll also be interesting to see how or if Microsoft reacts to this news. I'm not sure that this late in the stage either company would be reacting on stage to things that they've already got planned. Like, they've already been planning this thing for several weeks, several months. So it's not like, I don't think they're going to go and say, hey, maybe we should X this out. I mean, I guess it could happen, but I wouldn't say it's very likely. And of course, there was a lot of doubt as to whether or not Microsoft would even be mentioning the Scorpio at all this E3, considering that they're already supposed to announce the Xbox Slim and also some sort of streaming device. And so the same rules would apply to them as Sony. If you announce a Slim right now, do you really want to announce a new, more powerful machine coming out a year from now? Because again, you might try to hinder some of those sales. So Sony can just sit back and use this news for like Gamescom or the Tokyo Game Show or something else like that. And it might be kind of a cat and mouse game that we're playing here, again, between Sony and Microsoft, trying to see who's going to go first with the details of a new system. Who's going to put in writing, this is what's in this system, and then allow maybe somebody else to come back and say, here, we're going to bring out something even better. So Microsoft screwed themselves last time by going first and announcing bad policies, a bad price point. But with Phil Spencer in the driver's seat now, we have to see whether he's going to make those same mistakes or if they're going to play the game better than Sony this go around. So while there are some who are going to be disappointed that this isn't happening at E3, that the PlayStation 4 Neo isn't going to be showed off at E3, I still think there's plenty here for it to be a good show. This is the year that I expect a lot more first-party Sony studios to show up. And so I think it's going to be a good showing for both Microsoft and Sony this go around. Already a lot of leaks, already a lot of games that I'm excited for personally. So post below, why do you think Sony confirmed the Neo today, but isn't going to bring it to E3? Will they try to react to Microsoft? And what do you think Microsoft will or should do about the Scorpio? Should they mention it and just not reveal it, sort of like Sony just did? Or should they just stick with the Slim and here's what you've got for right now, not mention anything about a new, more powerful console coming? Stay tuned to VGM for the latest headlines. That does it for me, The Red Dragon. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Are you listening? Damn.